So once you all get in, Poxo looks toward the desk and says, "Vril!" The man in the chair turns around. He looks to be about the same age as Poxo, early 30s. He scans all of you, and then he looks at Poxo. This man is dressed conservatively. He's got a white button shirt with short sleeves, black necktie, black slacks, black shoes. He's just glaring at Poxo. Vril stands up and just marches out the front door, which he slams shut. And then you hear the bus start up and leave. In his dream, he is old, wrinkled and frail, long beard, and he's reaching out to a great and beautiful ball of light just out of his reach. And Poxo does not see that Vril is holding a weapon of unimaginable destruction. The weapon is somehow drawing power from the ball of beautiful light that Poxo is eagerly reaching toward. And Vril has a wide grin of glee on his youthful face.
Vril, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have for us.
You hear a little emotion in his voice when he asks you, "Why do you keep choosing Poxo?" They're in the bunkhouse, and Poxo has laid Vril in one of the bunks. Vril is sitting up and apparently feeling much better, but he looks angry, and he's speaking in a harsh tone to Poxo, who is clearly pleading a case. Vril looks at you two the same way he looks at Poxo, like a burden he has to bear. "He seems to think we've been abducted by aliens, Cabo. I told him this isn't how alien abduction works, but he says he's getting off at the next stop and he'll find his own way home." Now, Vril has not been very friendly or cooperative. He just wants to go back home, but he'll settle for the next stop. One thing that Poxo has revealed is that Vril is absolutely horrified to find out that out in space there's only more human beings. There's no aliens, there's no benevolent power behind everything, and he's just kind of been in a bad place, but Vril has been trying to kind of soak up everything he can about the technology in this wonder-filled world that he finds himself in. Vril actually has news. He has managed to isolate a frequency. It is obviously some kind of data stream between your earpieces and the ship computer. And he has figured out how to insert code into the stream, which will then propagate out to all the devices.
Can I grab the box and say thanks? We could use you to maybe hopefully make him stay, so we can use his knowledge of technology.
He is unmoved. He's not really an emotional guy, but he nods like, "Yes, I am important, aren't I? And don't you forget it." He also spent some time playing around on the bridge, and he has tied your bridge station into your earpiece so you can get notifications without being on the bridge.
Nice.
He was poking around and discovered that the stations on the bridge are programmable and even have some programs on there already. Maybe Jex didn't get to this part of your training. So it seems the ship still has a few features that you don't know about. As you get close to the station, you see the proof of how technologically advanced Brindle is. Poxo is oohing and awing over everything that you are looking at. Vril stands next to Baronix, his new buddy, at ship sensors watching the screens, his face stone and impossible to read. I want to cover this fact that Poxo and Vril were on the bridge during the flight through the Stukimi system and landing on Smuggler's Notch. Vril was standing there next to Baronix at ship sensors as you guys were approaching, and he watches it all go by. The destroyed planets, the massacre of ships, the polluted moon. His face is stone and impossible to read. He thinks to himself, "Is this And just more of this, all there really is? Nothing more? The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is what? Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you'll be just another blasted moon circling another slaughtered planet? And then Mink says it's time to change your clothes, grab your weapons, let's kick rocks and go get rich. Vril says, I'll be in the lab. And he walks off the bridge and he looks glum and disappointed. He says, we got a tip that there's a corporate ship parked a couple of miles up the fuse.
So where is Vril?
Oh, he left a few minutes after you did. He took the translator box and some other stuff.
Ugh.
And some other stuff.
Kralix is all about security, protecting his business. The four of you even being here and knowing these things means you've gained unique trust with Kralix. I have an operative who thinks he's found something. I didn't really expect him to. He's one of my new people. If his information is correct, there will be a Doulos transport ship arriving shortly after you do. Firefly-class ship, this is your contact. What is your status? Glad to hear the operation is going well. I am ready to receive your transmission when you are prepared to do so. He says he's got bad news for you, that there is a Doulos patroller ship headed our way. I need you to send me that data, whether it's complete or not. The contact signals you and lets you know that the data burst is received, and he will be here in less than 10 minutes. Your contact just sat there looking at this tablet with this data on it that you guys data bursted over. Of course, most of it is encrypted, but he's looking over at it and his eyes are beaming. There is an explosion that he sees through your window, and it's your Firefly-class fire trader ship exploding, and he has no expression on his face and goes back to looking at the tablet. So, sir, I haven't got much time left. Could I maybe have my cure now? And Kralix says, oh, I appreciate the translator, and I appreciate this information you've brought me, but for what you want in return, I'm afraid I need more. Benzotoin 5 is, of course, very, very rare. At this point, I'm afraid I could only part with 1 dose. The man says, well, I only need 1 dose. Kralix looks surprised, but haven't you spoken of a brother on your home world that also has the same disease? And the man just says, I only need 1 dose. Oh, my. You are something, aren't you? Been a burning fuse your whole life, haven't you? One of those closet psychotics who maybe tortures little animals in childhood, but hasn't just had a good reason to explode at the whole world yet. I pity the person who would choose to trust you. But with me, you have a very bright future. So yes, I have great work for you, and you can have your cure. And now let's discuss our plans for the future, Vril.